Over the last few years, Hong Kong has seen the food and beverage industry pulling together, often for a good cause. Events involving chefs, the press, and even industry suppliers have become part of the annual calendar. They're fun, different, certainly different from the norm, and everybody involved wins. They raise exposure for the chefs, money for the charity, and are a great night out. Coming up for the second year is Hong Kong's Chi Fan. Janice caught up with the organisers, Cherry and Samantha, to find out exactly how it works and the who, where, why, and what of this year's event.
So Chi Fan is a very innovative model that takes the standard large gala charity dinner, but we throw in a bit of a twist. So the way we do this is we invite some of Hong Kong's best restaurants, and the chef will specially create a menu with a selection of wine or cocktail pairings. And through this, we also invite Hong Kong's movers and shakers, a group of friends or associations to come and host a table at these selected restaurants.
So it happens on the same day throughout the city
Yes.
in multiple restaurants.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Same time,
Yeah.
same night,
It's
1
like-
year only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did Chi Fan start, and who makes it all happen?
Pretty humble beginnings, actually, for Cherry Fun. It was created by a founder called Michael Crane in 2009 in Beijing, and he's an outgoing chap, and he wanted to do he wanted to do something a bit different in terms of getting the community together, but also being mindful of the wider community and how we could benefit. It was Beijing initially.
Yeah.
So he just created this concept of, approached a couple of restaurants initially, and it's grown massively. Started in Beijing, it's now in Shanghai, and last year was the first year in Hong Kong. So it's great.
Yeah, it's very interesting because a lot of charities come from outside of China, obviously, usually from the West, and then gets brought over to Hong Kong. But it's really nice to see something that's like China grown and spread, progressively south to our city. So last year you had 19 participating restaurants, and you raised almost 300,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is amazing. This year, so you've increased the number of restaurants incredibly. So it's now 21 at the moment, and possibly more.
Yes.
Including Shore and Souvla. And do you think there are more restaurants involved now because you have groups rather than just individual restaurants?
Actually, with that question, I think last year was the same, but I think this year we have a much bigger team. And also I think some of the restaurants we've approached, they heard about it last year. So I think definitely the first year really helped a lot. They found about us through the other restaurants as well.
And they've seen what a great fun event it can be.
It is.
It's just such a great thing to be involved in.
Yeah. So so it's around November time every year, that's
Yes,
right?
actually. Yeah, this year will be on Saturday, 22nd of November. And the week before it'll be in Shanghai, and the week before will be in Beijing.
Great.
And what's beautiful about this event is the food lovers from Beijing and Shanghai, some of them fly down for this as well. So we're quite lucky being the last city.
Yeah, so you get all the fun from
Exactly.
from Beijing and Shanghai.
Yeah,
and
so all eyes
bringing
are
the
on Hong
spirit.
Kong that way.
That'd be more fun.
Yeah.
So how should restaurants get involved if they're interested?
Through this, they can either email Sammy or I. So at cherry@cheerfanforcharity.org or Sammy at cheerfanforcharity.org, and we're more than happy to meet one of the restaurants.
Yeah. So what is involved for restaurants to get involved? I mean, do they? It's a table of about 10 to 12, and
Yeah.
Yeah, the restaurants, it's quite minimal in terms of their investment, really. It's donating one table of 10 or 12 with a 3-course menu. You can do more courses if you want.
Yes.
With wine pairings for 2 of the courses.
Right.
And we really like to work with the restaurants to make sure that the experience that diners have is just a bit different to that of a normal night in one of the restaurants. So I think at one of the restaurants last year there was kind of like a big ham that came out, and there was a lot of fanfare and theatrics around it. So we really encourage restaurants to just really put their best foot forward.
Yeah. And so each year the charity that Chifan supports is different, and you have a selection process for this charity. So how does this work? How do you select?
I think we've tried to follow the same model as Beijing and Shanghai, and their members vote for the charities that they would like to support. Typically, the charities that we promote are grassroots charities that don't get the sort of level of awareness and publicity that other larger ones would have. And that's really to make sure that, you know, we're really supporting the community, the local community. So this year, our members supported and voted for Enlighten Action for Epilepsy Hong Kong. And, you know, we've also learnt so much about the charity too. You know, there's 70,000 people in Hong Kong that have epilepsy. And there's really not that much awareness about, you know, what that really means for sufferers and their families, and, you know, just being able to conduct yourself in a day-to-day capacity, you know, going to restaurants and going to work. So we're really hoping that, you know, Cheer Fund this year is able to promote, you know, Enlighten's work and help people with epilepsy.
Great, fantastic. Well, thank you two for coming in today.
Yeah,
it's
no
been great
problem.
to learn about Chifan.
Yeah, and also with Chifan, the other beautiful thing is all the restaurant participants and all the chefs and everyone in the F&B community, they come together at the same after party venue as well. So this year it'll be at Key Club. Which they donated last year as well.
Fantastic.
And that's where all the silent auctions and raffle prizes and entertainment continues.
Great.
So, yeah.
Fantastic. So people from all the different restaurants will get together in one place.
In one place.
And just have a great time.
So no one's just in a stuffy gala dinner ball.
Yeah, exactly.
What we're all used to, so.